13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for an exclusive forum featuring the candidates for LA County District Attorney. Join KBLA's Tavis Smiley as he helps navigate what promises to be a forum full of fire when the candidates trying to unseat current LA DA George Gascon come together on stage on the campus of the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. Again, it's the LA County District Attorney Forum, live, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580, Saturday morning, January 13th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Helping to raise your civic IQ. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
A key reason why relationships are valuable is that they help us to know ourselves better. Being part of a couple can help us to understand who we are. Our partners may see what we no longer can, both what's adorable and what's more perplexing and difficult. They might, for example, remind us that we've told that anecdote 3 times before, or that purple doesn't suit us. They can tell us that we've overreacted to a problem at work, or that we've placed our trust in an envious friend. Their responses to us give us a chance to grow slightly less obtuse, haughty, and peculiar. But despite the potential of love to function as a route to self-knowledge, in practice we often walk away from relationships with most of our delusions intact. Some of our problem comes down to pride. We can't find it in our hearts to forgive our lovers for catching sight of material that doesn't accord with what we want to be true of ourselves. We come to love hoping to be admired. They spot that we aren't always very funny, that our novel is patchy, that we're prone to self-pity, that we lose our tempers too fast. Far from using these bits of difficult news as goads for self-improvement, we tend to find it much easier to get insulted, to say that a partner is being mean or inconsiderate, and to block our ears. We fall back on a noxious but highly popular idea about love, that in a good relationship, no one should be trying to change anyone, presumably because we're perfect enough already. We're not only bad at receiving feedback, we're also very poor at giving it. We give up after only a few minutes of measured conversation, call them a shithead, slam the door, and shout that they're as bad as their mother or father. In order to capitalize on the potential of relationships, we should be stricter on certain basic rules for love. Firstly, we should start by insisting, contrary to the romantic script, that true love is entirely compatible with attempts to teach people who they are and how they might improve. The only people whom we don't want to change.
Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR, top of the second hour. You already know I'm cooking with the rarest grease. Tonight's topic: destroy the image. Destroy the relationship. There will be people who love the idea of you, but lack the maturity, the spiritual maturity, to handle the reality of you. If you haven't learned to handle the reality of you, it's going to be very difficult for somebody else to. When you start loving the reality of you, you're going to find somebody's going to come into your life. You're going to be magnetized into your life, and they'll love the humanity of you. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why I'm not loved the way I want to be loved. Maybe my problem is I haven't totally loved all my nooks and crannies and all my dark hallways and all my, dark side. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why people give up and quit. Man, I'm good for attracting an intimate quitter. Soon as they see the human Zoe, not radio Zoe, not author Zoe, not good dad Zoe, not really smart Zoe, not Zoe can answer questions on religion and science and spirituality. When they get to know human Zoe, they like, how dare you still have this in your spirit? What? Wow. Heavy stuff. Let's get Reggie back in here for his final thought.
Man, I think the greatest part is you showing grace to yourself. And the grace that you show to yourself kind of overflows to everybody else. Mm-hmm. So while you're trying to find better ways to show grace to your partner, find ways to show grace to yourself. Mm-hmm. Give yourself some
honey.
Some slack.
Honey packet.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Yep. And it flows to everybody else, man.
Right.
It's not easy, but it's possible. And I like the possibility. All right, man.
Man, I love you, brother. Guess what you just did?
Love you too, bro. Austin,
Austin, Texas is in the building. Where's Los Angeles? 1-800-920-1580. Let's get our brother John from Mountain View, Hawaii. John, get in here.
I'm in the house. I'm in the house, brother. Greetings and blessings to the chat. Greetings and blessings to everybody who's in here listening to this radio station. The condolences to the family that has lost one of their loved ones, their hero, the head of their household, and also to you, Zoe. Not only do you look good, but let's cut the chatter and realize that we are still dealing with real things.
Right.
Especially this topic. As Attila said, teachers are actors. Could you also put leaders in that role of a teacher? In the actions that leaders have to go through. If we put on a performance, most of us as men, we go through these situations just the same way. And in this society that is telling us in a very pushmatic or just dogmatic way, be concerned about self, work on self, prepare self, get better at self. Did we also include in bettering ourselves the portion where we're supposed to die daily?
I said it at the funeral today. I said, everybody here is upset that our brother has passed away. I said, but do you know how much time we waste because we refuse to die daily? I said, you got to die to some negative aspect of yourself every day or you're not truly living. But many of us wait until the final death to try to say, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I did that. I said, some aspect of yourself has to die every day. Talk to me, brother.
Well, I really don't have the time to talk to you, bro, and I wish I did. Maybe I should reward myself with offering you this money so I can sit down and have a session, but we'll talk about that later. Nonetheless, I will say, to help out anybody who's trying to get an understanding of all of the stuff that we're going through in this life, find your balance.
Find your balance. I like that.
Your balance, not my balance, not the teacher's balance, not the other leader's balance, not any of these other things. You know what you can tolerate. You know what you can go through. And I can't tell you what that is. So again, with grace, find your balance.
I appreciate that, brother. I do. Guess what you just did?
Brought Mountain View, Hawaii in the house.
Mountain View, Hawaii. Oh, man, he was saying something. That's all right. Andy, quick on the trigger, man. Mountain View, Hawaii is in the building. I love you, John Gilbreth. He calls in all the time. Very powerful brother. We appreciate his insight. We appreciate the information that he shares with us. But guess what? Sometimes our ego prevents us from letting go of our image. Sometimes our ego prevents us from recognizing that the ego itself fuels our inner enemy, right? The ego is busy maintaining an image that we're okay, that everything is okay, that we're good people, that we all right, ain't nothing wrong. Haven't you had conversations with folks and they say, ain't nothing wrong with me? Hold on. You talking to me? Ain't nothing wrong with me. You the one with the problem. Have you had conversations with folks that will aggrandize your cracks in your image and ignore the cracks in their own? Didn't Jesus say something about it? What did Jesus say? He said, hey, before you talk to your neighbor about the splinter in their eye or his eye, you need to address the plank in yours. Now look at the size difference. You got a plank in your eye. This man got a splinter. How did you see around the plank? You should be damn near blind. You got a whole plank. Krishnamurti says it differently. Look at what he says about the ego. Isn't the origin of conflict ego? If there is no ego, there is no becoming. It is the ego that says, I'm supposed to have this. I deserve better. I'm supposed to be this. You didn't show up the way I needed you to show up. And when you did show up the way I needed you to, it was too late. So guess what? You showing up the right way too late, listen to me now, is not enough. Ooh. The ego is the enemy. The ego is rooted in the image that you project onto others. I want you to hear what Krishnamurti said again. Isn't the origin of conflict ego? If there is no ego, there is no becoming. Right? There's no striving. Isn't our relationships about aspiration? Most of them is about aspiration. We done turned spirituality into an aspiration. Spirituality is about being, not doing, not accumulating, right? Man, I can't wait. Just like Kanye, wait till I get my money right. Many of us are like, wait till I get my spirit right. That ain't the same kind of process. And sometimes that's a lifelong process. Do you understand? Listen to what Krishnamurti is saying here. If it is not put together by thought, the me, the ego, the self, then it is something sacred, inviolable, unalterable, something that is beyond time. Do you want unconditional love? Unconditional love is inviolable. It's unalterable. It is something that is beyond time. Your ego puts you into time and makes you think that somebody is wasting it when they don't give you what you want, when they don't show up when and where you want. God manifests himself through relationships, through the partners. This is why folks in the East will say namaste when they meet you. You'll say it at the damn yoga lounge, but not getting no elevation from the yoga. You just sweating and stretching. You can do that in sex. But the people in the East say namaste. What does that mean? The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. So understand what Krishnamurti is saying here. If it is put together by thought, the me, the ego, the self, then it is something sacred, inviolable, unalterable, something that is beyond time. We make the ego God. We turn the ego into God. Do you understand? Unconditional love is actually unalterable, something that is beyond time. This is how you can live with a human being when you have authentic, unconditional love, because that is an infinite reservoir you get to keep going back to cleanse, heal, renew, refresh, reconcile, rebirth your relationship. But many of y'all in this society don't believe in that. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. When I come forward, Lord, I'm on fire tonight. Get to your phone lines. I want to talk to the nation. This is a national discussion. 1-800-920-1580. Let's do it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. So, what are you doing this Friday morning? How about you come join the KBLA delegation as we make a historic announcement and unveil our climate justice campaign for 2024. We'll be assembled for this major press conference along with LA Mayor Karen Bass, Ben Jealous, Executive Director of the Sierra Club, and a host of other public and private leaders who are joining us on this journey to justice, climate justice. We can't think of a better way to kick off the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, linking social justice and climate justice. So, come join us this Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. at the beautiful MLK Memorial Tree Grove at the top of Kenneth Hahn Park off La Cienega. Once again, that's this Friday morning, January 12th at 10:30 a.m. as we take on the task of elevating the climate conversation by amplifying the voices of those who are most impacted by the climate catastrophes we are all witnessing in real time. KBLA delegation, we hope to see you this Friday morning at KBLA Talk 1580. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
No. Hold on. That ain't the original version. We got to get the original. Hold on. It's such a great record. I don't want my people, I don't want the fans to not have the full experience of this record. Please give me the original. There it is right there. Let this sit in your spirit.
I used to think that love was so silly, something that a girl like me never dreamed of. It never was for me, no, not really. But there was not a guy who was special enough until you came and made me so happy, like a child on Christmas Day. I was so anticipating, and I didn't know I could ever feel this way. brought me so much joy. Love song. Love's all the hopes of a girl and a boy.
I used to think that love was a mystery.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That thing is fire. Karen White and Babyface. Man, y'all better understand something. That 1988 Karen White album was crazy. My playlist is my co-host. I just had to put a little paint where it ain't. Wow. Great record, man. Tonight's topic is a heavy one as well. Destroy the image, destroy the relationship. Right? And the subtitle of this topic is, there will be people who love the idea of you, but lack the maturity to handle the reality of you. Right? What is the role of empathy in supporting your partner's humanity? Empathy plays a vital role in maintaining attraction when the image of your partner is no longer perfect. By putting ourselves in their shoes. Sometimes people so focused on how you made them feel, how you hurt them. Don't you know being able to take yourself out of the grasp and the grip of pain is a great way for it to go away? Sometimes people just want to sit in their pain, and that's their choice. And they have the right to do it, and it's okay for them to feel it all the way through. But wouldn't it be good sometime to step outside your pain? Wouldn't that be a way to subdue your pain? Your ability to step outside of it and give empathy to another. I know people don't think like this when it comes to relationship, but this is a possibility. By putting ourselves in their shoes and understanding their perspective, I'm talking about the person who hurt you. Like Prince said, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if the somebody was me? We can cultivate compassion and strengthen our bond. Empathy allows us to see beyond the cracks in their image and appreciate their journey of growth as well as our own. We have to start seeing cracks in each other's image as opportunities for internal growth, for the cultivation of spiritual maturation. The cracks in the image of our partner can lead to personal growth and a stronger relationship if we see it as an opportunity for us to expand beyond the image. These moments of vulnerability provide an opportunity for introspection, which leads to self-improvement if you're about that work. By embracing challenges together, we can foster resilience and a deeper connection. Andy, you had a point. Bring your point in, because one of my favorite callers is on the line. Lord have mercy. We're going to go to church in a minute.
Yes, sir. I think one of the challenges, it's one thing to be vulnerable while, being in a relationship, right? But I think one of the challenges in dating, right, before you could even get into a relationship, right, I'm trying to, for lack of a better term, catch somebody, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. And I think being vulnerable off the rip could actually push that person away. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of the times where we wear that mask, our representative is being shown. You kind of touched on it in the first hour. It's like, if I ask you how you're doing, you're going to say, I'm okay. When deep down inside, you're probably like really, 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 truly in pain. But I can understand you might not wanting to be as real, because do I really want to hear your mess? You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on. You know what you're saying, right?
Speak on it.
You're basically saying we're liars.
100%.
That's all. We're
Real
liars. Talk. Because how you live in a society that says keep it real, keep it 100. Keep it 100. Keep it real. Ain't nobody real. Because vulnerability is real. You think one pain is better than the other. And I can give you an alternative perspective to show you that it ain't. Right? Let me give you an example. I want to go to a new relationship because the last relationship caused me pain. But the new relationship is going to cause you to be vulnerable. Vulnerable means pain. So now you're running from one pain to another pain. Then you say, you know what? I just want the sweet pain of sex. And you know what? I've been with this person long enough that we could take off the condom. Well, 1 in 4 people have herpes. You gonna listen, all I'm saying is life gonna give you what you running from. Stop running. Life is always going to give you what you're running from. What we resist persists. We think the image is a safe haven, but the image makes us inauthentic. And it makes a shallow grave for a relationship that has a death date now. I know y'all didn't want to hear it put that way. I'm sorry, but thank you, Andy. I appreciate the insight. Nikki, get in here.
Brother Zoe and the fam.
Hey.
Man, this is really thought-provoking.
Well, you know how I do when I get riled up. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, I'm still kind of in last night with the passing of the doc. Mm-hmm. Because, speaking to the issues you brought up, something I really think that we might sit with for a minute about last night and him passing. I'm dying to tell you this. Mm-hmm. I don't want us to miss something I sort of breezed over last night in saying that we're all doing what he was saying. Mm. The level that he took us to speaks to what you're talking about.
Wait. Hold on 1 second, Nikki. You cooking and we right up against the 30-minute mark. Just stay with me. Don't leave because you're really about to pull this thing down. And I want you to have as much time as you need. When we come forward, we going back to Mississippi. Nikki is going to kill it for us.
Girl, I didn't know I had love inside of me. No love, the girl that love. Love so changed my heart. Your love is so much joy. So sorry. Love so the hopes of girl and the boy. Oh girl, my girl.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. It appears fewer migrants from Texas and Louisiana are being dropped off at New Jersey Transit train stations for a train ticket into New York. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy tells Fox 5 that in the last couple of days, the frequency of bus drop-offs has decreased dramatically. This comes after Phil Murphy demanded the charter bus companies carrying migrants from the southern border give at least 32 hours notice. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams says Texas Governor Greg Abbott started using New Jersey as a workaround to a new city rule requiring notice and limiting the time migrant buses can arrive at Port Authority bus terminals. Angela Bassett and Mel Brooks accepted honorary Oscars at the annual Governor's Award. Bassett paid tribute to the 10 black women who have won Oscars and expressed hope that there will be more opportunities for people of color moving forward. The 97-year-old Brooks was honored for a lifetime in the business going back to the 1950s. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
California Baptist University has clinched the #1 spot for career preparedness and an impressive /2 for the best student experience, according to the Wall Street Journal. Find out how CBU's award-winning experience can help you live your purpose. Visit calbaptist.edu/here.
So, What are you doing this Friday morning? How about you come join the KBLA delegation as we make a historic announcement and unveil our climate justice campaign for 2024. We'll be assembled for this major press conference along with LA Mayor Karen Bass, Ben Jealous, Executive Director of the Sierra Club, and a host of other public and private leaders who are joining us on this journey to justice, climate justice. We can't think of a better way to kick off the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, linking social justice and climate justice. So, come join us this Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. at the beautiful MLK Memorial Tree Grove at the top of Kenneth Hahn Park off La Cienega. Once again, that's this Friday morning, January 12th at 10:30 a.m. as we take on the task of elevating the climate conversation by amplifying the voices of those who are most impacted by the climate catastrophes we are all witnessing in real time. KBLA delegation, we hope to see you this Friday morning at KBLA Talk 1580. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king.
There's only a few days left for open enrollment, starting at $0 a month. LA Care Covered offers the benefits you need to achieve your health goals. $0 preventive services, 24/7 virtual care and nurse advice lines, walk-in minute clinics, free fitness and nutrition classes, and more. Become a member of LA's most affordable health plan. Get a free instant quote at lacarecovered.org. Have open enrollment questions? Connect with us today at 855-222-4239. Find your affordable path to wellness with LA Care Covered today.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew. Gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm calling you up.
So I got this two-timing chick who got her revenge from when I was on my two-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected, neglected my effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that been tearing us up. If things ain't picture perfect, is it really worth it? I have an idea, but I need to know for certain.
I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice to breeze up.
Trauma is so ubiquitous that if you think you have never seen it, you have not looked. We meet people who fly off the handle. We meet people who shut down. We meet people who are very difficult. No, it is a rare family. It doesn't have a drug addict, alcoholic, disturbed person. You know, one thing I like to say when I give a lecture, are there any normal people who come from normal families in the audience? And sometimes one or two people raise their hands. I say, can I please come to your family for Thanksgiving? Because I've never been to a normal family. My name is Bessel van der Kolk. I'm a psychiatrist, neuroscientist. I have been studying trauma for about 50 years now. I've treated a whole variety of different traumatized populations, see trauma in many different countries around the world, and I am the author of the book, The Body Keeps the Score. It's important for people to realize that not every mental health professional knows what we're talking about here. The mainstream system of psychiatry, psychology is that there is something wrong with you and I need to fix you. That's a very different attitude than dealing with trauma. Around that time that I first started to work for the VA, a group of us started to define what trauma is and started to define what happens to people. 1978 was the year, and the Vietnam War was over by about 6 or 7 years. The very first day that I met Vietnam veterans, I was just blown away. They kept referring back to their dead comrades. Their hearts seemed to be with the people who were no longer around. They had a hard time loving their wives and girlfriends. They had a hard time being in any way meaningfully involved in the present. These were guys who were my age, who were smart and competent, but they clearly were just a shadow of their former self. And what was also really striking is they were sort of passive much of the time, and then people told them something that was disappointing, and they went from 0 to 10 and blew up and became extremely angry. Something seemed to have happened to them that made it very hard for them to modulate their responses to the environment. My colleagues and I started to think about how is what these guys suffer from different from what other people who are in psychiatry textbooks suffer from. So I dug up a book that was written in 1941 by Abram Gardner, who had been working with World War soldiers. He writes, these guys suffer from a physioneurosis. Their bodies continue to re-experience that very terrible, frightening situation. And
do you hear what he's saying? Your trauma makes you human. Listen, he says the body remembers. He's giving the example of Vietnam vets. But what about my case? A foster kid. Right? 10 months old, taken from my 27-year-old mother. Child number 6. She goes and has a nervous breakdown. None of her family comes and takes her kids, so some of her kids got to go to jail. The 2 youngest, we go to foster care. right? We acclimate to the Bynums. We think the Bynums are our family, our mother and father. 5, 6 years later, Jesus, y'all not our real parents? No, I saw your real mama in the streets, and God told me to give y'all back to her. So now we move out of the suburbs, getting haircuts and Baskin Robbins after church every Sunday, and picking Christmas gifts that we want. We now go back to the projects? Rats, roaches in the house. And when I say rats, I mean my sister used to make me carry her on her back down these metal stairs. I would carry her on my back down the metal stairs because she was afraid of the rats, but so was I. I turn on the light in the kitchen. You know it's 10,000 roaches scattering. But then also, there's 3,000 rats all over the stove, scattering. So imagine somebody who got to be in a relationship with me, having a mama who didn't have the capacity to fully love me because she was never right after being given those psychotropic drugs. Me as a 5-year-old having to call her by her name, Rosetta. Lady, we hungry. No, son, I'm your mother. Mary is my mother. So imagine somebody not knowing, right, how to relate to the humanity in me. And then having all these expectations that I should show up in a certain kind of way. Back to Krishnamurti. I don't mind what happens. That is the essence of inner freedom. It is a timeless spiritual truth. Release attachments to outcome deep inside yourself, and you'll feel good no matter what happens. We have attachments to what our wounds desire, not to what we desire, to what our wounds desire. I'm sorry. Nikki from the SIP, please forgive me. I went on a tangent. I love you. Get back in here.
All of that was good.
Nikki said all that was good.
All that was good. But it does still speak to where I was going. First, let me say, now love is. I think one of the reasons we struggle so, just period, is because it takes a long time to learn, not in our head, but in our heart, that now love is. Love doesn't require, it just is. Mm-hmm. That's a difficult lesson. Mm-hmm. And without that lesson, then when we have these traumas, emotional responses to terrible things, it makes it even more difficult for our physical self, because you said the body remembers. Mm-hmm. We had talked before about always bracing for impact, which I think very often comes because we're traumatized early. But one of the things that was so profound about last night and the doc in general, he represents now love is to me. Particularly because he was dying to tell us. And because he was sharing with us that level he was taking us to that we may not have realized it at the time because of the place in the process of dying he was in. Even the tenor of his voice in what he was dying to tell us about. To be at a place where you could share that much truth, that's part of what that love thing is supposed to rejoice in. We are supposed to, as loving being people, rejoice when we hear truth. It also explains to me why he was very prolific in writing and helping, because there was so much truth coming from it, from a love place. Even if that was not his intention, maybe, all the time. It says a lot, even with what you were sharing with us. That's a level of elevation, to be able to share a truth, even in our intimate relationships, because sometimes what we are looking at, beyond the aesthetically pleasing parts, is really the truth of the person coming out, not the mask. Sometimes a bit of the ego, because ego is the sense of self. And if that sense of self has morphed into a not cool place because of traumas, when we see that, if we haven't gotten to the now love is place, when we are approached in the intimate relationship and it touches on a trauma in us, it makes it hard. And our natural state as a human being is to cover or secure self. It can make us want to run or hide or just get away from it or leave it alone. And sometimes, because we're working on whips in progress, getting to the state of now love is, as I told you, whatever's supposed to happen does. That all the time. How do I know? Because if something different was supposed to happen, it would have. That's how I know.
Come on.
So if we can work toward the Doc's example of being able to elevate into the place of now love is, to the point I'm dying to tell you about it, and I'm actually dying. Oh,
right.
Oh,
this is not just a podcast. I'm actually dying, by the way. So before I leave, take this with you, right?
Take this with you. And he passed the baton in that sense to give us an opportunity to work on that part of us which hasn't developed to that place, so that when we get to these intimate relationships, maybe our first response is not to flee or fight, because I've worked on now love is enough in me so that that's not my first response.
Nikki, I love you so much. Hey, how many of y'all, we got to do a Nikki appreciation clip where we just put together some of the best points that Nikki lays down on this show, because I tell you, man, this is that MF and cornbread, right? This is that down home cooking right here. We love you, Nikki. Thank you so much for calling in. Guess what you just did?
I brought the sip in. I love you back.
The sip is in the building. We appreciate it. Thank y'all for reaching out. But listen, my homeboy God Melanin is on the line. Houston, Texas. When we come forward, the national calls continue.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resource at calhope.org today.
What's up? I'm Danelle Riley, FAMU alumni and creator of the HBCU Culture Shop. I am so proud of my new partnership with Black Beyond Measure and Target. They help me elevate community pride with my HBCU designs and continue to support Black creators and entrepreneurs with Target HBCU challenges, scholarship programs, and campus collaborations. Let's come together this homecoming season and beyond. Shop my brand and discover other Black-owned products at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure.
The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertiri Plessy. Nefertiri felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is indeed a classic vibe. But Andy, what else do we have on tap musically? Let me see what we got. Whoop. Don't get Quincy Jones and George Benson involved. Come on. Sheesh. What? Okay, what else we got? Oh. Put the stank where it ain't. Come on, you better take your time and do it right. Hey. Let's do it. All right, what's next? Boy, if you don't get Miss Ross, the boss, Miss Ross up in here. Let me get my final caller on the line. Our good brother, God Melanin, Houston, Texas. Get in here.
Peace, brother. How are you, man? Condolences, off top. I know your heart is heavy, brother, but, we persevere. I know you'll get there.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Speaking to the topic as best I can, because Mama Nikki killed it. I ain't going to hold you.
Mama Nikki, boy. Woof.
Mama Nikki came with that fire. But if I stick to the original premise, the topics, and I think about forming ideas versus accepting and acknowledging the reality of the people that we come into intimate relationships with. Speaking from my personal experience, and I may be naive for saying this, I'm 31, but I honestly haven't had too many experiences with people in intimate relationships where I had a false version of who I was actually looking at in front of me. Because due to my action, and then it helps that I've been listening to you for almost 7 years, but I've always understood that, I had a lot that I had to work through from my personal upbringing, family situation, things like that. And when I finally got to a healthy space of looking at myself for who I was and what I was, what I could be, I understand that there had to be a process of evolution, which takes time, and accepting that it's not going to be easy. Sometimes I'm going to disappoint myself. Sometimes I'm going to let myself sometimes I'm going to look in the mirror and be like, this ain't it. How can I not extend that same grace to another human being? Because at that moment, I'm accepting that I'm human. So I feel that if you move into relationship with that same understanding, if you get to that certain level of confidence within yourself, then you wouldn't have a problem acknowledging somebody else's humanity and understanding that they got the same things, if not more, to work on that you have to work on.
Out of the mouth of babes, man. We appreciate the insight. Thank you, brother. I love you for calling in. You brought Houston, Texas in the building. Listen, we don't have all the answers here, but we definitely know how to start the discussion. Tonight's topic was heavy, man. In relationships, we often create an idealized image of our partners, projecting our desires, hopes, and expectations onto them. However, when this image cracks and reality sets in, it can be challenging to navigate the complexities that arise. This particular show, we try to explore the importance of supporting personal growth and open communication, acceptance, trust, self-love, and forgiveness, and embracing the reality of our partners and fostering that strong connection that we all want. But let me tell you, that's the real work. And your relationship will be a mirror reflection of your inner work, not your insistence on your partner to change. You got to change. And listen, if you speak to your partner in love, with compassion, with empathy, with understanding, and you say, hey, this is a process that I'm in. Do you see my results? If you want to, of course, on your own time, you can see how this might work for you. Or this might just be a process that worked for me. But look at the results. Sometimes we think once we get a kibble of understanding that we are somehow a professor of it. And now we want to go proselytizing to our partner. Listen, everybody you come in contact with is on their own path, right? Their job is not to fulfill every outcome you have in your heart. They're there to reflect the limits in the construct of your desire. What do I mean? Sometimes your desire is born out of fear, ego, pain, resentment, a lack of something, a lack of self-acknowledgement, a lack of being seen and heard. I'm not here to do that for you. I'm here to reflect it back to you so you can see what you need to work on. We started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. The fire shall continue. My friend, your friend, our sister, your sister, Jill Monroe, RSVP with Jill Monroe. Up next, Voice of Reason. See you tomorrow. Deuces.
Only you knew how much I do love you.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the